everybody, and welcome to the March 2018 edition of the Bizarre Briefing. I'm Bryce Castillo, joined as always with Brandt Hughes.
Hi, that's me.
David Rowan. Dude, it's an audio podcast, David.
That's me.
And Jeff Schusler.
Hi.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Behind the Scenes podcast. How's everyone doing? We're all feeling good. We're all feeling it, ready to go behind.
Great.
This.
Never been better.
Ready?
Time of my life.
It's all downhill from here.
If this is your first time listening, this is the Behind the Scenes podcast where we talk about all sorts of your favorite shows like Scam School and The Modern Rogue and all the stuff at Scam Stuff and Night Attack and Cord Killers and Weird Things and all sorts of fun podcasts here that we make, period, at the end of that sentence. Hi, everybody. Welcome.
Hey.
Greetings.
Greetings. Let's talk about shirts for a moment.
Okay.
What's up with shirts?
Yo, shirts. So for Modern Rogue Patreon, we have quarterly shirts. Once every quarter. That's 3 months. Turns out that's a pretty fast turnaround for shirts.
Yeah, because they got to be designed and made and shipped out.
Yeah, there's like a whole process. So quarter 4 shirts of 2017 were a bit delayed. We got the design out a little bit late, and then we realized that there were too many colors for the screen printing stuff.
Right.
So we did a heat press kind of situation for that.
Mm-hmm.
And then there were delays with like the shirts getting kind of lost for a little bit, and then we eventually got them shipped out. They should be in patrons' hands now.
Yeah, I've been hearing that people are receiving them and enjoying them.
Yeah, I mean, maybe if you're international, it might take a little bit longer. But we shipped those out like 2 or 3 weeks ago.
Okay, nice.
Might get stuck in customs going, what is this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Some sort of fabric?
A shart?
Design?
What is a shart? I
What
don't
is
know what
this?
a shart is.
And it was a Dress Pants Robot Man shirt.
Yeah.
Kind of styled in a Hanna-Barbera type style. Very colorful. And then
Very cool. We have a design for next quarter.
Yes.
How close is this design that we're about to show close to final?
That's most of the way.
Yeah.
I would say that's like 98% done.
So this is Brian's hand with a graphic inset that sort of cuts it out in a fun sort of literal and metaphorical sense. That says days since onset injury. It says 0.
And then 0 days with Modern Rogue on the watch.
This looks really good.
I like
This came out really well.
Yeah.
How, I know you took reference photos when we were shooting a few weeks back. How is this pretty like close to a reference photo, or like how much like tweaking and artistic license did you have to take with like that photo?
Yeah, this is mostly just like a trace deal on this. And I did kind of a similar thing with Dress Pants Robot Man. It's just that's the fastest way to get something like this out.
Yeah.
There is a little bit of artistic license with we only have 5 colors to work with.
Right.
So it's a lot of figuring out, okay, what are those 5 colors?
How do you shade?
Yeah.
How do you
and
delineate?
how do you disperse them?
Yeah.
So there's a lot of like the skin tone is just 2 colors, and I actually I didn't do any I didn't do anything with with pulling colors from the photo or anything. I just kind of opened up the color wheel and hold on a second.
Lady, we're working in here, and your dad is not in. Okay. Yo.
We had a little visitor
Groupies.
who kept pounding on the door.
Apologies.
So yeah, I didn't do any picking any colors out of the photo. I just opened up the color wheel and just took a good guess at what's kind of a peachy color. So there's a little bit of license there. But yeah, I just kind of felt it out and saw what worked.
Nice.
Yeah,
It looks good.
I like it.
It's a nice, very simple design.
Yep.
Which is what I like about it. And we're looking at heathered gray for this.
Yeah.
That'll look good with
something like that.
Like with the warmth of the hand. That'll be a good, easy bit of contrast. Because I know we were talking about like beige before. I don't know if that would get lost in it though. What if the shirt was like? What if like the hand color was transparent, and so the hand was whatever the color that the shirt was.
Or it was see-through, and the hand was the color of the person's chest. You see what I'm saying?
All right.
So we have to create vinyl T-shirts.
Yeah.
I'm just
We'll
curious.
step up to the plate.
When you were making this, since you were already using red, were you tempted to, instead of a shadow, have a gigantic pool of blood? Or like a big splash?
Originally, I wanted to do a red shirt to kind of imply that without specifically showing that.
Okay.
But with the red numbers, it would just completely blend into the background. So
Okay.
I didn't want to do that.
Very cool. Well, that's shirts. Those are coming soon. What is what are the T-shirt quarters? Because I never know what the quarters are. So which month do you have to be pledged in on patreon.com/modernrev to get this Q1 design?
You have to be a patron of January, February, or March.
Okay.
The first 3 months, the first quarter of the year. But Patreon pledges don't process until the first day of the month after. So you have to pledge before April 1st.
Got it.
And then you have to let that April 1st transaction process, and then you're good.
Okay. So because I know we do some other stuff. Don't we have something else that we do quarterly? But I wasn't sure because the shirts work on like the calendar quarters. Got it.
Yeah, we've got some stuff that's quarterly, but scam stuff I think we kind of settled on trying to do like mid-month quarterly, but there were some delays last quarter in getting that out.
You're talking about the scam cash, free scams cash for scam stuff.
For the $5 tier.
Yeah.
I don't know that we do any other quarterly rewards.
I guess not.
We might, but I don't know.
I feel like I thought we did, but it could. I think maybe it was when we were doing the live Q&As. I think maybe we were going to look to do those. Oh, maybe those were once a month though. I have no idea. We only did 2 of them.
Yeah.
So, okay, very cool.
But yeah, those are mostly designed now. We sent out surveys to patrons of January and February. We'll send out surveys to patrons of March once those pledges process. So if you happen to be of the $10 and up tier, please check your messages, respond to them. Otherwise, we will not send you a shirt. It'll probably be a couple weeks leeway because we still have to then. We'll take a basic ratio of who
The size
of
demographic.
the sizing charts and everything, and then we'll add just a couple in most categories, and then we'll order the shirts, and then we have to have the shirts sent to the printer, and then we have to send the design to the printer, and then the printer can print on all the shirts. Then
And
it
they go
goes
to
out
the
to the
shipping
distribution
place,
center,
you gotta make the
and
orders,
then
yeah.
it goes from there to people.
So it's a process.
Yeah,
It's a full process.
but Q1 shirts should ship in Q2. We'd like it to be as early as possible, but
it takes time.
yeah.
And that's for the $30 and up pledge tier.
Oh, right. Yeah.
If your $30 pledge gets processed at least 1 month of the quarter, you apply. You can get a shirt.
So if you happen to be like a $5 patron and then you just want to up it to $30 for the last month of that quarter, you can totally do that.
Yeah.
I got no beef with that.
You hear that? No beef. Very cool. Let's also talk about, while we're talking about Patreon perks, guest interviews.
Yeah. So we're starting to do interviews now for the $10 tier.
Yeah.
This one's actually $10. So the $10 tier was a bit weird because we originally had secret missions, which was like a big Brian initiative that never really went anywhere.
Yeah, I think from the get-go, everyone was not on the same page with what those missions should be. And then the bandwidth to make either of those things happen didn't appear.
Yeah, and they Brian and Jason kind of kept going like, yeah, well, something will happen. Something will happen. And then I was like, well, nothing's going to happen. It's been like 7 months and you haven't done anything in regards to that. And you keep promising it on the page. And that just like makes me really uncomfortable.
Yeah.
We also had live Q&As in that tier, but we felt like they were kind of redundant with the live streams, which go out to $10 as well.
Because that was a place where people who had questions could just ask questions, and it was so low traffic we could get to most everything.
And we've also got the Discord, which at least Bryce, myself, and sometimes Jason are pretty active in. So it's like if you have questions, that's a pretty easy way to do it as well. Yeah. Or Twitter, or literally any venue that we're in. And so there just wasn't a ton of engagement in the live Q&As.
Right.
It was a lot of people who would just kind of wait until the Q&A happened, so nobody would send in questions beforehand, and then it was like, you're only going to get so many people to show up live for something like that.
Yeah, because we would do it in the middle of the day because that's when our availability worked out.
Yeah, so I was like, well, we're not fulfilling either of those rewards, so let's totally scrap them. But I didn't want to scrap them without something to replace them of at least equal value, if not greater value.
Yeah.
And somebody mentioned interviews. It wasn't my idea, but
yeah, I don't remember who.
It really hooked into me, and I really liked it. And I went, well, that's an easy enough thing to fulfill because we already have guests come in for shooting episodes, so we can just shoot the episodes and then say, hey, stick around for 30 extra minutes. We're gonna interview,
talk to you.
Yeah, and it's gonna be like really casual, and you could just sit down and talk to us about whatever. And I think that's a really good reward because it's very different format from the regular episodes, and it's a lot of just, oh, do you like this guest? Do you want to hear this guest just talk for a little bit about stuff?
Mm-hmm.
Then go for it. So we shot one with Anthony Bonomo, who is our sword guy and mead guy, and that one is up on the Patreon. It's about a 25-minute interview. And then we shot one with Bill Doran, which has not gone up and probably won't go up for another month and a half or so. But yeah, that is shot.
Yeah, they're really cool. They're cool. It's a cool format, and I think it kind of satisfies multiple needs. Because when we were doing the live Q&As, or we were talking about the live Q&As, a lot of the talk around that, and I think some of that still exists now, is like, we, meaning Brian and Jason, should do a podcast. And that means trying to find more time from Brian and Jason, plus prep time and edit and publish time.
Right.
And then, determining whatever format that looks like. If that's audio only, video only, live, not live, restricted to patrons, open to the public, whatever. And so the guest interviews, in a way, fill some of that, some of that latent desire, I think, of just like wanting to sit down and just have an easy conversation.
Sure.
Because it's, this was 23 minutes. The one with Bill we shot was about a half an hour, and that'll probably edit down a little. About how much of this interview with Anthony was like edited down?
Not a whole lot. There were some. The biggest thing that I did was cut out some ums and a little bit of pauses, but not even as aggressively as a full episode would. Full episode, I try to keep it really tight and polished, but this, I allowed some stammering, some kind of natural flourishes. But I just, anytime there's a big long pause, I'll trim that down. There was some
graphics in here.
There are a little bit of graphics here and there, mostly at the beginning, but if there's one moment where Brian makes a comment that was heavily censored in this, which you might remember. And
I only remember that there was something that needed to be edited.
And
I don't immediately remember what it was.
I'm not gonna refer to what was edited, but
that's fine. Hey?
But that's really the only thing that was cut out.
Yeah. I'm trying to remember because I know you. I remember you mentioning that at some point when this was done, and I was like, I don't even remember that moment. So I want to go back and like just rewatch this to see if it can jog my memory of what it was.
It was the R word.
You'll remember.
I will. Okay. I don't think it. No, I don't know that. I don't know. I don't.
It's the Y word.
Okay. That nasty.
After the R word.
Okay.
And then before the one that starts with a question mark.
I
don't know.
None of this is true.
But that's very cool. So that's for the $10 not patrons, and that's gonna stay exclusive for that pledge level? Question mark.
That is the intention.
Okay.
I'm sure maybe at some point down the line, maybe if we get enough of them, one of them can get unlocked for public, just so that way the public kind of knows what they're in for. We did the same thing with the first pass edits.
Yeah.
But I don't want to give away our only interview before we get more out.
Sure. Because I was using. I'm starting to use. Maybe this is another topic we can get into. I've started quietly using the community tab on our YouTube channels. And it's interesting to see the way that those get interacted with. Primarily, I use it on the Modern Rogue and on the Scam School channel. And so, like on the Scam School channel, every so often I'll post like when we have a new episode and we'll ask a question or something, and there sometimes we'll get a handful of comments, not a lot, but we also get a lot of thumbs ups, like a lot of likes on it, which is weird. But then you go over to the Modern Rogue one. Now, granted, this stuff is a little nicer. Like this is like a photo from when we shot stuff with Bill, but way more comments and engagement on it.
I didn't even know this tab existed.
Yeah, doesn't this really kind of only surface like on mobile for the most part?
Yeah, basically. I think on desktop it can show up in some places, but I think it only shows up on the phone app. Like even on the iPad app, when you try to go, it says, "Hey, enjoy YouTube on your phone to see the community stuff." But it will show up in people's subscriptions page,
right?
On in there if they have posts turned on. So it's a very kind of specific thing, but it's also like the crux of YouTube's whole upcoming sponsor crowdfunding thing. In any case, it's just interesting.
I hate YouTube so much.
It seems like they're just trying everything. I just got a thing today. We'll talk about that later. But in any case, so I posted this one about that we shot a patron-only interview with Bill, and we got a lot of comments of like, "Oh, I can't afford Patreon. Oh, will it ever come?" But this is the sort of thing where this specific feature won't be going out public,
right?
So, but this community tab, I still don't know what the value of it is yet.
Right.
I've been using it in the hopes that it will help push people to go see episodes or videos or something, because I would like to think there's a possibility that when you make a community post, it also will send a push notification, because I've seen comments to that effect, but I don't know.
Sounds like a Google experiment, maybe, in some sort of newsfeedy kind of thing.
Right. Well, and I'd like to think that if it does work, or if we use it, that maybe that means they will give us some consideration or some algorithm thing of like, oh, well, they're using this, and we want to test how this works. So the black box says you get shown, or we'll show this thing out. I have no idea. I don't know. I don't know.
I don't think I've seen a community post since the first one you did.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I think which one was that?
I don't remember.
It was a while ago though.
Yeah. Hey, you remember when people leave comments on channels?
Yes, I remember that. Like it was on the About tab, right?
Something like that.
It was discussion.
And it was just a thing that literally nobody ever saw except for the people who were commenting there.
Yeah.
And it's like, why
are you doing this?
Why bother? I feel like there used to be a lot of those on Scam School.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I wonder if that tab still exists on Scam School.
I don't know.
I will go to About.
The boot.
No.
Maybe not.
Maybe they just got rid of it. So like YouTube is doing another weird thing. If we're just talking about fucking YouTube right now.
Just like any other month, really.
And this is only tangentially related, but YouTube has YouTube Music, which is a part of YouTube Red now.
Oh.
Okay.
All right. This is
Jeff,
like
you're
the-
having a conniption.
No, I'm sorry. I don't want to derail this. It's just that I just found out about I knew that YouTube wasn't showing my subscribers my videos, but I didn't know how egregious it was until like last week. They had a live stream where they talked about like if you don't hit the bell, then we just show people your videos like occasionally, not even with any kind of like regularity or numbers. And so
Sure.
it's just frustrating having a website that has like several tens of thousands of subscribers and I can't get 500 people to watch a video because YouTube is just like, well, they didn't hit the bell. And it's like, you didn't tell me they needed to hit the bell. Sorry.
Well, no. I mean, that's a good topic because a lot of that conversation is about the homepage.
Yeah.
Right. Like that is true. Like they tailor that homepage of the things that you subscribe to the things that you end up watching. Mm-hmm. or tend to watch. But you still have the subscription page. And I know that there are a lot of people who use YouTube a lot and do know about the subscription page. Though even myself, who really tries to lean on subscriptions, if you don't check it on a day after a day or so, stuff just gets lost.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
And the push notification stuff is like another weird thing because that wasn't there originally. It used to be that there was no push notifications.
Right.
And so when they added it, they, I think smartly didn't make it opt out. They made it so that the user would have to choose to receive those notifications.
Click 2 things now instead of 1.
Right. But that's a tough sell also for people who are subscribed because then it's like, hey, I want you to do this other thing now.
Right.
Because there's this subscription page that is not great and people don't use it well enough and the homepage is not showing people everything.
Well, after a while, it'll just be like Mousetrap. I need you to click the bell and then slide down the slide. And then if you can walk across the spikes, I don't know what's in Mousetrap.
Yeah, but don't wake daddy.
That's right.
I feel like an old man because I use a subscription page almost exclusively. Like
Yeah?
I just have that bookmark. So whenever I go to like YouTube, like I push myself into the subscription page to look at people who I subscribe to. I'll use the homepage every once in a while, but not super often.
How many, it's not a dig, how many channels do you subscribe to?
Probably about 100.
100? I'm going to see if I can find out how many I subscribe to.
I also feel like it's a little bit of a design problem where they probably should have had notifications of subscriptions and follows or something like that. So that way you can have subscription is they push everything into your subscription box. Follows is like it feeds into the algorithm and is like a subdivision of subscription where it's like, yeah, maybe it doesn't show everyone. Where it's just like, oh, you're interested in that channel and you want to be reminded of the channel, but you don't want to see everything they post.
Yeah.
And then notifications where it's like, hey, I want you to send me an alert every time a video gets posted.
Yeah.
And that would kind of cover all the bases and would be more clear.
I guess I just wish that they were more transparent. If they just told the people that were doing the things for YouTube what they were doing, like that we're making a change to the algorithm. This means you might see X, Y, or Z happening. Because I have no idea. I've heard people say because I have a YouTube channel with a huge number of unlisted videos, because that's why I have my Patreon is all
you have
unlisted
time
videos.
Exclusive. Yeah.
Right. Well, no. They're permanently unlisted. Like I don't ever make them public. They're just for the subscribers. And I don't know whether those count as like because only patrons are watching that, whether that's depressing the way the algorithm looks at my channel because I've got a huge number of videos with 100 hits as opposed to a couple thousand or
on the public channel.
Right.
Public videos.
And like, is that messing up the algorithm? Should I have had a separate channel for my Patreon videos? Should I delete my YouTube channel and start over again? Is it possible that I would have a better time even if I lost half my subscribers if I had a channel that's the problem that I
looked
have.
Like it was new and growing.
Right. Is that I have no idea what would make YouTube serve my videos to the general public more. I get the comments all the time where people are just like, I think that this content is good. I have no idea why, you can't get more than 1,000 people to watch one of your videos. So
Yeah. It's and the reason they don't tell anybody is partially because the algorithm. My understanding is that the algorithm is partially a neural network, and so it is very black box. It adjusts itself and tries to do the thing that it's made to do, which is increase watch time on YouTube.com. And so,
by whatever means necessary.
Well, that's the other thing is the first 24 hours that I put a video out, I host it on my website and leave it unlisted on YouTube.
Yeah.
So, like, is that hurting the video?
That
and it's just the problem is that it's all just a big question mark. Yeah. So, you can just start trying stuff, but it's not like I'm going to make the video public and then suddenly my video has 1 million hits. Like, there's no way to know how to grow a channel correctly if all this stuff is just behind an algorithm.
Well, and especially if the way you're using YouTube is in that it is in a more specific way than YouTube wants, right? Like if it was the way YouTube wanted it, you'd post something when it was ready and it would go out. But the fact that they have unlisted and people use monetization stuff off of YouTube, that means you create a scenario where, does that 24 hours where it's unlisted count as the first 24 hours for that video or not? Because the first 48 hours are important for views. But
I mean, I didn't even know I demonetized all my videos because I wasn't making very much money. I just didn't want people to have to watch ads. I don't even know if they select more for videos that are monetized, which I could totally see being a thing, except it's just that I don't have that there's no information forthcoming from YouTube. So I feel like it's all just a big, well, some guy said on Twitter that if you do this one, put Elsa in your thumbnail, then you get a lot of hits.
Yeah.
Elsa?
Yeah.
From Frozen.
Is that a real thing?
Yeah.
Oh, you put Elsa in your thumbnail?
Definitely. Well, if you put it in the metadata, it's good SEO.
Yeah.
All the kids stuff is more than gaming content is super high SEO.
It's kind of wild that, like, one of the biggest selling points of using YouTube as a medium is the fact that the audience is there, and it's like, oh well, if you want sharing, if you want people to just find your stuff, you go to YouTube. But yet nobody really knows how to get people to find their stuff on YouTube.
Yeah, when a lot of it happens off of YouTube, right? When stuff gets posted on Reddit or shared on Twitter or Facebook or whatever,
it can.
I think that gets it to the tipping point when YouTube is like, oh, this is a big deal. It puts it on trending and it puts it on home pages and general interest trend stuff.
I see most things on LiveJournal and Zanga. That's where I get the notifications.
Still got that Zanga, huh?
Getting it done.
It's so the other dumb thing that YouTube is doing is so YouTube, the way YouTube is built for YouTube Music means that when YouTube Music rolled out, so if you don't know what YouTube Music is, it is YouTube's version of
Spotify. Apple Music, yeah.
Even though Google already has that with Google Play Music, right. All Access. I think it's called still All Access. But that means that they have to take the songs from the content creators and create actual YouTube videos that are just still images with that data. And they had to make new channels for those because I don't know how that works in their database, whatever. But they'd have to make a new channel for that piece of content, which meant that between Vivo, which has its own content and specifications and guidelines, artists having usually their own channel for stuff that can't be on Vivo or isn't on Vivo for whatever reason. And now these YouTube music channels, YouTube is now saying, we are just going to merge all three of these for sake of ease of use. And I don't know how it works, and it seems real dumb because they all those three channels are created for very specific reasons. And whose channel is that now? Do those channels still exist? What do people see? Where do you send people? Because the idea is like, okay, just subscribe to one of these and you'll be subscribed to all of them. But like even in the graphic that they use, it's like, all the channels get smashed into one, and all of the follow counts add up into one big button. And it's like, I guess that's a problem, right? Because you have Vivo channels that are very big because Vivo has high SEO, and their own app and ecosystem. And that means that like artist official channels get underserved because it's just not that there's not the same connections between those two.
Yeah. But
from a creator standpoint, what does that mean? It's something where it's just coming by really fast, and I don't know what that means, because I think ostensibly I would have a YouTube music channel because my music is on YouTube Music. Do I run that channel now? Or is that the same as my channel? Though my own personal channel only is like half music and half like video work and portfolio stuff. Are those the same thing now? Like, I don't know. I don't know. It's going back to what you said. Like, we just don't know how YouTube fucking works.
Mm-hmm.
If you get a video on Vivo,
Mm-hmm.
is that considered in vivo fertilization?
Vivo sounds like a version of the Vive that you would buy at a CVS or something.
Yeah.
Like one of those
the
really
HP Vivo.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just a mess. YouTube is a mess, and
thank God for Patreon is all I have to say. That I've only ever been able to do this because of Patreon and PayPal and like fans. Like YouTube has never done a damn thing for me. And
how long do you think YouTube has left?
Oh, a long time. Come on, like that. I'd put my money on YouTube more than I would on Facebook.
But
sure.
Well, sure. I mean, yes.
Well, I mean,
in terms of video
Google,
capability, not Facebook.
YouTube, though.
YouTube is, yeah.
Well, Google seems like they're more than willing to let dead things go for a decade before they even consider shutting them down, right?
Google Plus.
And Google, but though I would say Google Reader, which they very unceremoniously shut down. I think, and I don't mean like how long until Google shuts YouTube down. I mean like how long until we say, hey, fuck YouTube, and this new website that just appeared is better and it works and it's not clunky and it doesn't have these paywall restrictions or built-in difficulty to get into or on it.
And it's called Meta Cafe.
Blip TV.
But I mean, there have been. I
think it's just Twitch
because
in a lot of
ways. Could be. Twitch is expanding their video upload feature. They finally got rid of this ridiculous rule where when you upload a video to Twitch, you would have to premiere it and have it take over your live channel, but it wouldn't send a notification to people because it would be an event. But it would still be happening live, and you couldn't be streaming while it was premiering. And it could only premiere at the start of like the quarter hour at one of the quarter hours. So in any case, thinking about delete Facebook and the ripples that is causing on the tech industry, I just don't know how long, but at some point we're going to say, hey, YouTube is like not first priority anymore, and it's, I don't know what the answer is, but I think like in 10 years, are we still using YouTube?
Probably death by 1,000 cuts, just sort of like how things are going to eat away at Amazon and eBay, like, Etsy started with a very specific niche. I would think that if you wanted to go up against Netflix, you can't just go against like all movies. You can go low cost movies, or you can go like Criterion Collection movies, or you can do some sort of niche where you see that I said niche the second time and then niche the first time. But yeah, basically going full speed against the current of YouTube, I don't think is probably going to be successful for somebody. But
yeah, because I look at Streamable, which is like the imager of YouTube. Like what
does that mean?
So for what imager is to Reddit, right? Reddit.
Oh, okay.
The early boost of Reddit.
These are the new SAT questions.
Like when Imager was born, because when Reddit got big, everyone was like, oh man, all of these image sites suck. I'm just going to make one. And that's how Imager started. And so Imager is like this huge, like, de facto
repository of images.
Right. Well, and now Imager is like making their own Reddit community inside Imager. So if you like scroll down below a popular image, you see comments and upvotes and shit. It's like, I don't know why you would do that, but people are doing it.
Sure.
And I think I think the streamable is that for video, where it's just like throw a video up, you go to it and it will start playing and it'll loop, and it's a place to throw video. But I think there will come a point where either Streamable or someone else makes uploading stuff really easy and make building a community there easy, in a way that YouTube has been lagging.
Yeah, but climate change, we're not going to see any of that. Right?
I just think that
Fair.
But it happens overnight. That's what happened with Dig and Reddit. Overnight,
That's true. Dig.
everyone left Dig.
Bye.
But then there's also the counterpoint of you get into that whole, the next big MMO, or we're creating Google Plus, the social network that you really wanted, and then it's just a big failure because everybody goes and uses Facebook anyway. So
Sure.
I don't think it'll be. I think it'll have to be something like Twitch that's different from YouTube, because I think if you just created, we're going to make our own YouTube with blackjack and hookers, like that, you would just end up within 2 years with the exact same problems that YouTube has, where you have too many videos being uploaded to sort through it. So you think you have to create some kind of algorithm to sort them, and you have advertisers that are offering you huge amounts of money to put all their stuff on the front page, and then you've got the community that's unhappy because their stuff is on the that you would end up really quickly at the same place, unless you had a really, really fundamental shift in, I don't know.
Well, I think that has been the cause behind why we left MySpace for Facebook, and why we left Dig for Reddit, because these were new, very different things, which is why all of the new social media networks that try to come out and try to be a new thing, like Vero or Peach or Ning. Yeah. Wait, no, not Ning.
Not Ning?
No, Ning is like an enterprise, like business thing.
I thought it was a social network for brands.
Well, they will build you a social network if you pay them. Mastodon is the very like decentralized social network thing.
Is that a band?
It is a band also, but it's also a very. I thought so too. I thought it's a band.
There was Path. Remember Path?
I don't remember Path. I think I remember the name. Hold on, I'm going to look up Path.
All right, so check this out. A video hosting platform.
Right.
Go on.
Video.com. You upload your video, and there's one video.
And there's just one video.
And it stays up until the next person uploads their video.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then it just replaces that video.
After a certain point, it just
my God.
framed.
Yep.
Okay, it's like
Do you know who owns Video.com?
Disney, apparently.
The Walt Disney Corporation. Wow.
Say it's
Good
like
get.
Is it?
That's it. This came up. I'm looking at a Wrinkle in Time ad.
Yep.
There we go. Video.com.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, new
Ooh,
trailer
new
for the
Avengers
Avengers.
trailer.
We
Yeah.
can't do this. Okay. but
Can we?
that's the thing, is when these new sites come up, they are trying to fix the problems of the old sites, when what you want is something radically a new way of looking at stuff.
Like
Video.com. But I even think like Spotify, like the reason Spotify sort of came in and ate iTunes' lunch was that it was built from the ground up to be a different thing.
Right.
And then when you go and use something like Apple Music, and it has to integrate with a bunch of old stuff, and it just ends up creating a lot of friction.
Has anybody else had problems with Spotify just being super slow to load?
Like on mobile?
No, on a relatively new desktop. I'm guessing it's. Just want to see if that was common, or if it's one of those things where I gotta go
It
dig
might
around
be
on
your
the desktop.
Yeah, I don't know if it's your network or something.
Yeah.
Check your ports.
Check my TCP and IP settings.
That's right.
Enable cookies.
Get your DNS.
You want this dog?
Try the Google DNS. Anyway, I just don't
Packages.
know. I just like think about like, okay, well, what will we be using in 10 years? Right?
Toilet paper.
Okay. Yeah, sure.
Just like this conversation leads.
TPIP.
Toilet paper zoetropes.
Spin.
Zoetropes?
Zoetropes?
I would say zoetropes. Yeah.
I think of zoetropes.
Zoetropes.
Oh, here we can listen to Google. Google.com can tell us.
Zoetrope.
Zoetrope.
Zoetrope. Shut up, Google.
Type in tzatziki because everybody at the Mediterranean place says tzatziki, and I'm like, I'm pretty sure it's tzatziki.
What are you? How are you?
Yeah, there you go.
I typed it phonetically.
You got it.
Didn't see.
Like a train.
I just typed the word tzatziki with a
There's
Z.
a 14-second video. Okay. Oh, there it is. Yeah, nice.
Tzatziki.
Tzatziki.
Yeah.
Tzatziki. Okay.
Okay. I'm going to call that a compromise between what I was thinking and what they were thinking.
Okay. Let's change gears for a little bit here. Last month, we talked about South by Southwest. And when we recorded that episode, we were probably, 2 days before South by Southwest happened?
It was pretty soon before, yeah.
And then that episode came out last week. And so South by Southwest happened a little while ago. It was good. It was a good time. Brandt was there helping shoot. Demon 5, one of our friends, was there and helped us be on the other camera.
True.
It was a good time, a really good turnout. I think probably our most attended South by So Wasted yet? ? And it was in a really good place. The Kung Fu Saloon was a lot more spacious than the Brew Exchange, and so people could kind of spread out and breathe a little bit. And also, it wasn't in the middle of the night like it was last year, so it came out looking nicer. Jeff and David, you both attended.
We did.
Mm-hmm.
The end. I'm trying to figure out if Justin is singing a duet. In my mind, he's singing a duet with Andrew here.
No, he this was
I will cherish you.
I think you mean Mandrew.
Okay,
Mandrew, yes. Andrew Mandrew, excuse me.
Yeah.
No, this was their the game that they did was
the birthday thing. Was it birthday or
middle name?
Middle name.
Middle
That's it, yeah.
name.
Guess if they could guess someone's middle name by asking them one yes or no question.
Yeah.
And they ended up doing challenges, and as a result of that, noted YouTuber Brian Brushwood ended up doing the cinnamon challenge, and
Did good at it.
did pretty good.
Yeah.
A serene contemplation.
He took it slow. He was like trying to be smart about it.
A very methodical approach.
Has he done it? Has he tamed the cinnamon challenge?
I'm midway through doing this cinnamon challenge.
But it was good. It was a good moment. There was a thing right before he did it, and I think it was because of how public his reaction to the sriracha challenge 2 years ago was, where he got a bunch of sriracha bukkakeed on his face. Where
Wasn't there for that.
afterwards, that was near the end of the show. He went and vomited because it was that intense. It got into his face and his skin and stuff.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. And so when he did the cinnamon challenge, like, you had some very helpful voices try to like make sure he did it right and like didn't die. But it's like, that's the cinnamon challenge. Like,
What happens when you do it wrong? You just spit out all the cinnamon, right? And you're like,
Probably like
that's supposed to be
inhale
the
it.
funny thing. Yeah, you can like,
And it burns.
yeah, you can get some spicy burns. And I guess you could
Conceivably
dry out
pass
your
out
mouth,
from just not
possibly.
being able to take a breath.
But it's like, we had a drink for him, and there was plenty. We had plenty of liquids available. Anyway,
he looks like a real smug son of a bitch in this.
in this
Isn't that
pause,
right?
still there.
Yeah, I ate it.
Cinnamon, what? Jesus.
And then he vomited afterwards.
Yes.
And so the other thing about the other night attack thing, I kind of wanted to. I guess we talked about this a little bit last, or we hinted at this, but maybe I'll just hint again. Is that we've been talking about doing more live night attack shows around the country. So I would just say I've put a period at the end of that sentence, and I've said this sentence, and now I'm saying this sentence, which is that early June is a fun time of year.
Isn't it?
It's a very fun time of year on the west coast of America.
These United States of America.
This United States.
Not so much in Washington State on the west coast or Oregon.
No, not quite. Not quite.
But just kind of west coast.
On the west coast, you know, that's just a great location, a great time of year. That's just a thing. We'll talk about that more when
there's something to talk about.
When anything comes up to talk about, we'll talk more about it because there are thought processes and going to like what the structure of that looks like. I would say that if we hypothetically did some sort of live show of Night Attack, it wouldn't be the podcast, or it wouldn't be exactly the podcast, because I think so much of the podcast is very like freewheeling and kind of loose. And I think when you take other podcasts and take them to live shows, you end up doing a pretty close version of that podcast. But I think Night Attack has a structure but not a format, and I think that would make it difficult to take it to multiple places, possibly, without more of a format.
I like to think you guys are going to just go into a theater and do 2 one-man shows back to back.
I know that if we hypothetically were talking about doing live shows, early talks would have been about front-loading magic shows and politics shows onto those things. And I don't think that's the situation anymore. But that's that. So that's Night Attack. One last other Night Attack thing is last week, I swear to God, last week we did the summer movie draft. This is our twice-a-year extravaganza where we get a bunch of podcast friends together on a live stream and auction off the summer and the winter's hottest movies to create sort of a fantasy football style league. Do you guys follow the movie draft much? I feel like I sort of did right when they started doing it, and then fell off.
Yeah, I haven't really kept up. I know I get sent tweets like every week.
Yeah, I am on that
about
tweet
it
list also,
but I don't know what's going on there.
Yeah.
Who's missing? There seems to be a gap in the screens there.
No, it's just that's how the way these two ended up in the same camera.
It's like that little puzzle you got as a kid where there's an open space.
Right. It's a sliding puzzle. Yeah. But it is one of our biggest shows of the year for both Cord Killers and Night Attack. And so if for some reason you ended up here and didn't know that happened, nightattack.tv is where that's at. It's fun. It's fun to sit down at the forum and say, okay, well, these are the prices. What is the best pick? And then you can kind of forget about it. Sure. It's not like a football league where every week you would like
have
update
to do
your
anything.
list, right? Because I think there is like a popular movie fantasy league that is like they promote it at the Regal Theater that I go to a lot. But that seems like every week you're like setting a lineup and like really like getting into the nitty gritty every week with it.
If I were to draft, it would definitely be one where I set and forget it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's just like,
and you just watch it unfold for 3 months.
Yeah. Whatever happens, happens.
Yeah. But we have, if you are following it, of course, you know that on Night Attack and on Cord Killers, rather, it's spoiler in time. We have an update every week about the status of the movie draft. So that's that. Let's talk about the store a little bit, David.
What up?
As of last month, we did a creative exercise.
We did first in a long string of creative exercises we planned to bring to the Bizarre Briefing, where we had people suggest names for a product that we are going to release soon, next week, most likely. That is a combination of a pen and a sword.
Whoa.
Together at last. The
It's a 3-foot long pen.
is a 3. Yes.
That's right. and it's a click sword. You click to pop the blade out.
So one of the people from the realm of chats suggested the Penmanshiv.
Yeah,
and we
this show.
Yeah, and we rolled with that. So I'm trying to.
Cool.
Thank you.
Was that you?
Ours now.
Okay.
I'm trying to remember who it was because I don't know.
They'll
if it
let
was
us know.
Gambling Man or like
Waffle
Dark Redeemer.
Okay.
Someone was watching live. I'll just come up with it.
We'll probably send them one as a thank you.
Yeah, we'll go back. We'll just go back to the archive and look.
But everything, all the materials are being put together for that. And next week, well, actually, at the end of this week, we might film a little promo for it.
Yeah, I think this will be the first time we've done a promo video that is going to be a sketch.
Yeah. Well,
and just going to be a sketch.
Yeah, I mean that. Right. I mean, who knows? We might fly by the seat of our pants and just start off with a quick 1 minute sketch, and then it's a little bit more of a promo video. Or if we feel like the sketch is solid enough, we might just leave it at that.
Yeah. I was talking with Brian yesterday, and at the time, his feeling was it would just be a sketch.
Cool. So it's like Gary. Tell you about
the Marvel.
Gary.
No, wait, Gary.
The character Gary was one that the sketch was built around.
Okay.
The basic idea being that people go up to Gary and ask for things, and then ominous music plays.
Oh, when he pulls out the knife.
When he pulls the knife, but
he uses the knife.
He uses it in a very benign way, right?
Yeah.
So,
yeah, I think that's going to be the basic concept of it. But for being a sketch, it needs more structure than we go into these product videos.
Yeah.
Usually when we go in. When we start a shoot, we'll have like a basic outline, and it'll usually be right before filming when you and Brian, or historically anybody with Brian, have like figured out what the beats will be, and then kind of playing it organically. But this is the sort of thing where I will probably end up writing some form of script and thumbnailing it out.
Yeah, it might be here. I'm wondering if it's. Or both places, just to get different settings.
I don't know. I don't know if it'll even be long enough to warrant that. It would have to. It's a sort of thing where we'll have to. That will be something we can play by ear. But in terms of like figuring out shots and stuff, we'll need more premeditation than normal.
Yeah.
But I hope it comes out well.
The packaging itself is interactive.
The box.
Yeah, inside the box.
You can use the pen in the box to cut open the box.
that would
be really cool. Yeah. It comes with a big magnet,
right?
That you can use.
Pull the knife out.
To pull the knife out,
and then open it. Yeah,
that's cool. And it sounds like it might launch in a combo.
Yes. So we have a pen episode of Scam School that is on the burner in the back.
Yeah,
so
for next week.
And at bat. Or on deck. There it is.
On deck. There you go.
Baseball analogy is great. And so we're trying to coordinate it so that we might even go as early as Thursday next week for the whole announcement, just so that there's not that entire 48-hour gap between the episode coming out and that
bundle. Deal.
But
bundle, yeah.
If we have to, we'll go Friday. But and then in the bundle will be the Penmanshiv, the special highlighter that's going to be used in that Scam School episode, and then a friction pen, which is a solid addition. So you'll have
heat invisible ink pen.
Right. So you'll have what I have tentatively called the penultimate bundle.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah,
that's good. I'm glad penultimate found its way into this. That wasn't the penultimate solution.
Yes.
Because I think that was maybe a little controversial.
Yeah.
But that's cool. So that's something people can look out for next week as of this recording, or possibly available now at scamstuff.com.
Do you guys have anything planned for April 1st on Scam Stuff?
No.
Okay.
Shoot, that's coming up, isn't it?
But by the time this
Sunday.
episode comes out, we might have to have said, yes, we did do something for that.
We definitely don't have anything planned for Modern Rogue on April 1st. Like, not even wink, wink. Yeah, I know a couple of people have asked, and it's like, no.
It's been a fun thing to say randomly the past couple of months of like, what we should do for April Fools.
Right.
But
this is literally the first time I've thought of it.
Yeah, I guess I have no idea. Did we even do anything last year? What did we do last year?
I don't know if it was last year, but I think the year before there was something where the site went down. There was a video. Or
the year before we did the Alibaba stuff.
Yeah.
And then was it the year before that? That was the double your everything sale? Double price everything?
No, double your price was 2 years before that. The year between was the Arson Watch. We did that big Apple ad.
Right.
I love the Arson Watch video.
Yeah, it came out really good. Yeah, I don't know what if anything we'll do. What did we do last year?
I said, get rid of the battery. They said, well, you need a battery. No battery.
No battery.
I don't know. That would have been a Maximilian question.
Oh, right, because it was Max at the time. I typed in fools onto YouTube, and I don't know why.
It just brings up every
It brings
video.
up me. I would like to show that I was the top thumbnail is this asshat.
Man. I'm gonna see. About a year ago, looking here on the YouTube.com page.
So yeah, I wouldn't count on anything.
I don't think anything.
If you're expecting anything, stop.
Was it mystery boxes? Was mystery boxes?
That would have been earlier.
No, that was January. Yeah. Man, I guess maybe we didn't do anything. Weird. Anyway. But yeah, also the store was kind of in flux because Max had just joined us then.
We'll do it on May 1st, and no one will be expecting it.
Nice.
Okay. Yeah, okay.
That's a good idea.
April Fools.
April Fools.
April Fools.
That's it. That's it.
Yeah, time to launch the cryptocurrency. That's a good idea.
The sign is saying that because he's making a cryptocurrency called Fake Coin.
Oh, okay.
He's trying to promote it on the channel.
Nice.
Yeah. I don't think we have anything planned, given that it is in 3 days or 4 days. I guess we've done it with less, but
I'm like, that's kind of the timetable we operate in a lot of times. But yeah.
yeah. Man. We were going to talk about
1% off for April 1st.
okay.
Because it's the first
Everything's on sale.
1% off.
The
yeah.
1% sale.
I can do that. That's pretty easy.
Like
Yeah.
we never specify it. We just call it the 1% sale.
Yeah.
And you're like, everything on the
That's pretty
store,
good. Yeah.
1%.
Yeah. Was $9.99. Now it's $9.91.
1%. No, it just keep saying 1%.
Yeah.
We're not going to do that. Talking about the store, tell me a little bit about this promotion that's coming up, David.
I don't know what that is. Why is that on the list?
I don't know either.
No, so the guys over at Touch of Modern, which is a website that Bryce is going to pull up and show us all this cool stuff that they post to their site. Basically, it is they curate interesting stuff from various suppliers.
They've got a gate.
Ooh.
It's one of those.
They just got pranked.
Oh man.
Well, most
April Fools.
April Fools.
Oh, it was so early. I didn't see it.
Well, they do most of their marketing through an email.
I have to actually make a count. Okay. No, never mind.
Yeah. Anywho, maybe there's like a.
We'll figure that out. So, okay, here we go. You can see around this login screen.
I hate it when they do that. It's like LinkedIn or something. Like, I just want to know if this person works at a certain place, and LinkedIn's like, no, not today, buddy.
But so this is kind of a mass droppy sort of site, it looks like, where they have boutique and bespoke items.
Yep. And so for a week or a series of days, 7 of Scam Stuff items will be on the site.
Oh, very cool.
And hopefully that will be just a good way to bring some traffic in that might not see us otherwise.
The Touch of Modern website is doing a crossover promotion with us, and it's for Scam School?
No, did I say Scam School? I meant Scam Stuff.
Or Scam Stuff. I'm sorry. I thought it would be some Modern Rogue thing.
Well, yeah. I mean, we're going to probably put both brands in there in some capacity, but I mean, they already are because some of the titles of things are the Rogue's Ultimate Magic Wallet, and so there's going to be a little bit of roguish branding to it as well. But I think that's the basic idea.
Cool.
Cool.
Keep an eye out for that at touchofmodern.com.
It's all stuff that's in the Modern Rogue collection that you can go to at, what is it, store.themodernrogue.com, or is it shop?
I keep saying we need both. But you can find it at themodernrogue.com.
So it's all items that are in that collection, because I think they reached out to us possibly because of the YouTube show itself.
Ah,
and
interesting.
So
I was always kind of curious how those kind of things worked out, whether you approach them or they approach you.
I think it could be either way, but it sounds like they reached out to us on this one. Huh?
Yep, and then they just kind of do a quantity cap. So reserve this much for us.
So yeah, is it like a mass drop thing where it's like timed campaigns just always running?
Yes.
Or it's like a store?
Touch of Modern,
Yeah.
it is all time campaigns.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. So, in fact, all of their emails will be, 24 hours left, and then you'll get an email the next day. It's like 24 hours left, and it's like, but it's just different stuff, right?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah,
Which is a way to do a site like that. It's kind of an interesting thing with mass drop of just like there's always something new, I guess, and it does put a lot of stuff in front of you.
It's an interesting opening volley for this relationship. So we'll see if it. I mean, we're not going to make much money off of it at all, but we're just kind of seeing if it's worth, having that point of contact for maybe some future stuff too.
Yeah.
So
Very cool.
I think that's going to be like April 14th.
Okay. April 14th. Check it out, everybody.
We'll sign up for Touch of Modern's email list for at least the next 3 weeks. How about that?
Let's jump back to Modern Rogue real quick. We did a shoot this past month, 2-day shoot with everyone's favorite foam master, craftsmanship man, Bill Doran.
Builder and
Okay, so like, I get. Did people
because they
really
sound the same.
Did people really think his name was Builder Ann? Because I've seen a lot of comments that I was like, oh, it's Bill Doran? I always thought it was Builder Ann. And it's like, did you really think that? Or is this just a joke?
I'm sure there are probably a couple
who
don't know for sure. So I call him Bill Doran.
Bill Dorn?
Bill Doran.
Bill Doring. Just like keep messing it up.
We'll workshop it.
Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, Bill was in town and we shot 3 episodes of The Modern Rogue.
Yes.
With him. We can tell people what they were. It was
sure.
Making a life cast. So making a mold of someone's head of Jason Murphy's head. And then what was number 2?
2 is actually making a ballistic gel version of that head.
Yeah.
So the first one was making the mold. The second one was filling the mold with ballistic gel.
Well,
and then,
a homemade ballistic gel as well.
Yeah.
Not like the real stuff.
And then testing it with like shuriken and stuff.
Yeah. And then the third one was ways to improve the potato cannon.
Mm-hmm.
Can you eat the gel?
You can't. I mean, it's just Jello.
Brian did.
It's just very dense and unflavored
Not that
Jello.
means that you can't, but
Yeah, you may not want to eat that Jello.
Right.
It was those were good shoots and those were good days. Like I think those episodes came out really well. And the potato cannon stuff, so when we shot the potato stuff last time, and we talked about it on last month's episode, it was very like finicky. Right? It didn't always want to shoot very well.
right,
And I think they really like honed in on how to make it fire
more reliably.
more reliably and stronger. But from the way that they tamped it to the fuel air mixture, we were gonna use or they were gonna try. I don't even know. It's will probably make it in the episode just to say that they tried it. But they were gonna do engine starter. Like spray engine starter, because that has oxygen in it, I guess.
I thought you were going to say sweet potatoes.
I mean, you could.
It's where they belong.
I don't love sweet potatoes either. I do like them in like candied yams.
Yeah.
Because I have a real sweet tooth. But yeah, otherwise sweet potatoes are not my jam.
I had a sweet potato once, and I was just like, I don't get it. It's like
I get it.
To me, it is to potato what bread and butter pickles are to normal pickles.
That
to
is so
dill pickles.
harsh. Because bread and butter pickles, I don't know why those exist.
Right? I accidentally bought a jar of bread and butter pickles
I did
once.
the same thing.
And I was like, this is
Throw
the
this
worst
out.
mistake I've ever made in my entire life.
Okay,
I'll eat
so
them since I bought them, but
I don't know enough about
enjoy
pickles
it.
to know the difference. What is wrong? What is?
They just taste really wrong.
They're just another
They're like
like.
a sweet.
Yeah, it's just a
it
different...
goes dill and then everything else.
right?
Yeah, like, there's really no better pickle.
Pretty much.
Yeah, I don't have a lot of. I don't need a lot of pickles.
And then below all of those other pickles, then cucumber, right?
And cucumber are good though.
All right, well, all right. I had
But
you
they're
going for a while.
Like, cucumbers,
That's where we part ways, buddy.
You had to take that victory lap.
I really did.
No, yeah, I like cucumbers. Well, at least when it's paired with like a sandwich or something. Like,
yeah, it's great in Subway. Great in a Subway sandwich.
I'm gonna make some sweet potatoes for next bizarre briefing. Bring them.
With cucumbers and bread and butter.
Sweet potato hash.
Mm-hmm. Yep. I bet there's something that you can do, because I think that most people, when they think about them, they're just like, they just cook it and put butter on it, and it's like, well, this is stupid. But
Yeah.
so is everything if you don't put like garlic and. I don't know,
Oh sure, I mean
paprika
season your
and
food.
shit, like
Everybody comments. Everybody season your food.
You said that like
Some people don't.
like everybody needs to do like as a public health announcement. Like, come on, everybody, season your food.
Although I will
Get it
say,
together.
I feel like we've gotten over it, but there was that one period where I felt like people would offer me sweet potato fries at a restaurant like that was French fries, and I was like, no,
Knock them out of their
And
Not
hands.
the same thing.
it's not the same thing, and it's not better.
Right.
I want the one that's salty.
And yet, like, you see them more and more places having sweet potato fries, but
'Cause it's
fast
different.
food and not.
Sweet potatoes are the mayonnaise of potatoes.
Also, take offense to that.
I like
Like,
mayonnaise
mayonnaise.
though. I can't. On a conceptual level, I can't agree. I like mayonnaise. Oh my gosh.
I had that whole rant a couple weeks ago about how mayonnaise is on like every sandwich in Texas. I hate it so much.
Do you not like Miracle Whip, or do you not like?
He doesn't like
mayonnaise?
condiments really.
Okay.
Yeah, not really.
Not many sauces.
It's like just make it opt in for mayonnaise, because you put a trace amount of mayonnaise on my sandwich, and it's just like I don't know what to do with this. I'm not gonna eat this.
Wait a minute, what places are you going to where they're not asking you, or you can't just say no mayo, and then they
You
just do
can,
that?
but
They
but
don't
a lot
always do that.
because they default to it. A
Yeah.
lot of times people just even if you say no mayonnaise, like their just natural instinct is to put mayonnaise on it anyway.
The name of the sub shop's like World of Mayo, and Brandt's getting upset. I'm like, what is this? What is this?
Would you have you tried ordering plain? Because that's no sauces.
But then plain, sometimes it's like, oh, well, you didn't want any of this other good stuff that's on the sandwich.
It's just bread.
So it's like
No.
plain, but also add onion, also add lettuce, also add jalapenos, also add literally everything else that's there except for mayonnaise.
Okay. Yeah.
It's such a simple solution.
It's good though. It's really good. Is the thing.
Just opt in mayonnaise.
I just don't understand where the hell you're going, where you're saying no mayo isn't working for you.
But it's like, I have that with Taco Bell, where it's like I order with no lettuce, and I will get lettuce.
Because that's like
One out of every,
90%
like,
of the
10
filling.
times.
And you can go back
Right.
there and throw it in their face, demand some free cinnamon crispas and like a nachos Bel Grande or something. Like,
I don't want to get back in my car. It's usually like I try to check. You can smell it. Thankfully, it's like
It does
way
have this
easier with-
distinct smell, the Taco Bell
right.
lettuce.
Which mayonnaise is much harder to like. I think you got to unwrap it and peel
Yeah.
it open, and if there's
Yeah.
cheese,
You have to swab it.
you had to send it to the boys in the lab. Yeah. I feel you, because when if I have a taco, if I get a Taco Bell taco that has all the lettuce in it,
Yeah.
even if I try to take all the lettuce out,
You take everything else out because they put it on top.
It's got all that lettuce juice in there,
Yeah.
and you can't.
well, the lettuce gets in the ground beef and it gets stuck in there, and it's no fun. And then not to mention, there's just like a work element of it. You just have to
Sure.
like
That's why you should get
Do that.
Mexi Melts.
I think that like
lettuce.
2 decades ago, I just decided that I didn't care anymore. So if I go to Taco Bell,
You
they
do
give me the
whatever.
wrong order. I just eat whatever they get. I don't care.
I wish
They put pickles on my sandwich. I hate pickles. I'll eat it anyway.
I'm just too picky, I think, right now.
I eat like 3 foods, so I can't really afford to. to just eat whatever.
I just see Brandt walking into a sub thing, just the look on his face, like, here we go again. I don't know what's gonna happen.
Have you tried? Okay, we're in it. We're deep in the paint on those mayonnaise thing right
Yeah.
now.
We finally got to the good stuff.
Have you tried the mobile ordering apps?
Oh no.
For some places, but not a ton. The real problem is there are two possible failure points, right? The first one is when you're communicating the order to the person at the drive-thru. The second one is when it's actually on the line being made. So I find that the first one, the quickest, easiest way to make sure that they had it right once you get up to the window is to check the receipt, right? Because they almost always give you the receipt before the food.
Yeah.
And if
It's like, hey, I put no mayo on this.
if they misheard you, they're not going to put no mayonnaise on the receipt. But if there's no mayonnaise on there, you're like, all right, only one failure point left, and then you have to check the sandwich. That's like a whole thing. And I feel like on the line it happens less often than miscommunication with the person taking your order, but it still happens. It happened to me at P. Terry's just not too long ago.
Because I feel like those mobile apps will go directly to the line.
Wait a minute.
Oh, interesting.
You don't like the special sauce either?
No.
I mean, isn't the special sauce just
It's mayonnaise and ketchup, probably.
ketchup? Or I think it's like mayo and mustard or something.
It's
Like,
usually
it's a
they mix
mixture of
them,
all
yeah.
three or something. It's not like
Fry sauce.
anything
kind of.
fancy. It's
And
good though.
I haven't put mayo on my burger at P. Terry's, so.
So yeah, Bill Doran was in town.
Builder. Back to Bill.
Also, we had a lady. Was her name Grace?
Grace, yes.
Zon Zombie.
Zon Zombie, yeah. She is a
On
local maker
YouTube?
on YouTube who came up for that first day and assisted with the live cast. She's great.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe we'll do more stuff with her because she's local. But yeah, those were good days. They were long. You know, the Modern Rogue shoots when they're both days of the weekend are just like it's kind of a 1-2 punch in terms of like exhaustion levels, and it's not. I don't feel like I'm just speaking for myself.
Yeah, the only one I really had a problem with was one of those episodes they're mixing the gelatin stuff, and they are just all standing around a sink with a wall in front of it.
Yeah,
and
that
it's
was
just like impossible to shoot. There are no angles for anything, so I have no idea how that's going to look.
yeah. That'll
Overlay
be
some random video.
well. I that was like a significant like they were doing that for a while, right? Like 10 or 15 minutes making that jello mixture and like heating it and cooling it and stuff.
Yeah.
I wonder how short that turns out.
I mean, the impression I got as we were filming it was that I was going to cut out like a lot of the jokes and a lot of the whatever and just keep it like
Tight.
bare minimum because I just don't know that that's going to pass.
Yeah.
Is that why the shelves were out of the fridge for the gelatin?
Oh well, yes, because that's where they cooled the head overnight.
It all makes sense.
The head was in a bucket and that had to go in there.
That's why my bucket was. I was like, "Who has moved this?"
That bucket. How often are you using that bucket?
Just when we're spray painting, I use it for cleaning the equipment. But other than that, never.
Okay, because we use it a lot for the Modern Rogue stuff now,
Okay, I didn't know if
and it kind of gets moved around.
the
a lot,
other
I think.
people that might have done something with it were the ones that did something with it. I didn't know.
Oh no,
who-
it was us.
Okay.
It was because it was over the weekend. We were like, David's not going to be here, so we'll just move the stuff over and move the stuff out, and
Yeah.
we did that.
We've got to get wheels for that crane.
We got to.
I just need to pull it up and send Brian an email.
That's exactly what he keeps telling you every time it comes
Yeah.
up.
But then it's also like I have a billion things to do and I just don't want to.
Does it have like
price things
shock
out.
absorbers on it? So like if you were to move it while you're filming, would it do this number or would it be like smooth?
It would because there's not.
Okay.
It's
Stabilizer.
one pretty solid, or it's one. There's no spring shock absorption element of it.
It would depend on how smooth the ground is.
Yeah,
Really?
but just in terms of like moving that thing, like the tripod is heavy, the crane arm is big enough where it's not a one-man job to move that.
Yeah, I mean, you got to put like 40 pounds on the back and then that's counterbalanced with the front, and then it's really awkward to lift. I've got to like get it up on my shoulder and then do some like little wobble to move it forward or backwards.
Well, yeah, that's the toughest part is once it's assembled and you need to adjust it.
Yeah.
Because then it's like you need two people to move it back an inch or two to adjust it. Just get wheels. Are they even expensive? I don't even know.
I don't remember. If I'm just guessing, I'm gonna say $60.
Oh yeah,
but that's I haven't looked into it in a year,
yeah.
so I don't know.
But we should get those.
Like
We
a
should.
dolly. Good track.
Well, but yeah, but then you have to build a track.
Yeah.
I mean, we've got the slider that we never use.
Oh yeah, we should use that slider more.
Yeah, we got it because that was around the time we were still doing Behind the Scam, and there was still like a lot of product stuff that I was doing, and I was like, oh well, maybe we'll use this a lot, and then it was just like kind of a hassle.
Yeah,
And then it's been in the garage ever since.
there's the sort of thing where it's like any other. I think we used it for a Modern Rogue episode once, maybe once or twice. We
Yeah.
used it on the Taser episode.
We used it on the stun gun episode, and we used it for like a Scam School ad, the Stranger Things ad.
Oh, okay. And I used it for an ad also, and I think I used it for which Rogues thing was it?
We also used it for the
Outlaws
making a newspaper spear episode
Oh yeah,
because they were grinding in
the grinding stuff. Yeah,
in the garage.
but it's the sort of thing where it's still a one person. It takes a lot of setup and organizing, and you're kind of locked into place in some capacity.
Yeah, and it's also the sort of thing where if it's any of our 3 camera shoots, we have 2 camera operators, and so it's like either you're operating the slider or you're operating one of the other cameras that needs to be operated. So it just makes more sense to keep on a tripod.
Yeah. But I'm sure we could find some use for it because I keep seeing it in the garage. But the times that I use it for, I think it was for maybe it was the Relic, the box that didn't have dials on it, the puzzle box
That would be the relic, yeah.
Yeah, I think I used it for like a couple shots in that, and just using it even alone and trying to use it really quickly to get a lot of just quick short stuff was like, this was not worth it. I would have rather just like handheld it and stabilized it later.
Right. It's a little cumbersome.
It's cumbersome, and you're kind of, if you're trying to do anything dramatic with it, you have to like really get everything in sync, from your movement and your focus, and if there's any action or whatever, it has to be tied in with that too. But that's gear. Any other stuff with build? I mean, the build Doran stuff was great. Look forward to it. Do we know when the first one of those might come out? In a month or so?
I think the first one I might push up to not this week, but next week.
Oh, cool.
But then we're probably going to do a staggered once every other week for those until they're done.
They're done, yeah.
And yeah, so 3 episodes and 1 interview. The interview probably won't go up until the last episode.
Okay, very cool. Nice. Do we have any other topics on here?
4th one?
Oh, yeah. Okay. So tell me about this.
So I started making. Everybody who knows me knows that I love Google spreadsheets.
Yes,
You're
a big docs guy.
I just make docs all the time for everything. For some reason,
Sure.
I just love them. So I made a spreadsheet of comments that I remove and people that I ban from the Modern Rogue YouTube channel.
Okay.
And I've been thinking about doing it for a while, but it really kind of coalesced for me when there was some guy who was just being rude, and there was like a little bit of a back and forth, and then I felt like I was handling it, but then Brian was like, "You're banned," and then he just banned him from commenting on the channel, and I was like, "Okay," and then the dude had an alternate account that had basically the same name.
Yeah.
And he came in like an hour later going down a list of comments saying, well, you better not say that or they'll ban you.
Oh, Jesus.
And so he just kept saying that over and over again. And then he was just like leaving a bunch of weird comments. And Brian was trying to do his PR thing of like, hey, maybe you should email me at Brian@Schwood and we could talk this out and figure out what.
You should have just banned the other account.
Yeah.
At that point.
Well, I think Brian probably didn't immediately connect the two together because, you delete so many comments or whatever.
Yeah.
And so because some of that original conversation was probably removed, like there's not really a record unless Brian has email notifications for every single comment. And so it's like, well, we've got all of these banned people and all these deleted comments. And if somebody comes in saying some dumb stuff, we have no way of cross-referencing that. And so I thought it would just be like good hygiene so I've got a thing that says like, when I deleted the comment, who commented it, and it's a link to their channel because they could just change their name.
Yeah.
And it's linked to the video, what their comment was, and a reason why. And the reason why is really fun for me because it's very cathartic to just say what I really want to say.
Yeah, this guy was an asshole.
Yeah. Whereas when I respond to like kind of spicier comments,
Sure.
I initially write that out and then I revise it like 5 times. And I kind of distill it down to something that is more approachable and acceptable and something that is like really brings the defenses up. So that way it's harder to attack back. Mm-hmm. But in this log, it's like just first gut reaction. And it feels really good.
Loved mayonnaise too much.
Yeah. Banned.
I gotta watch out. So
blacklisted word mayonnaise.
This is a lot of energy being put into this system.
Not really. I mean, it takes like 15 seconds more per comment, maybe, and I delete on average 4 comments per day.
Okay,
something like that. So it's not a huge thing, but I also think it's just good practice. It also. This isn't a big thing, but I think sometimes when people leave like really horrible comments and you just delete it, which is by all means the best approach because then you shut off any possible conversation stemming from that, which makes the community a better place. Yeah. But it also kind of relieves them of a certain accountability because it's like, oh, they could just say whatever they want and it doesn't matter because it just goes away. So I kind of like that there's a little bit of a log of like, no, you said some really horrible stuff, and this is exactly what you said.
Interesting. How do you, Jeff, how do you deal with comments on like Rage Select?
I don't read them anymore.
Yeah.
I've got 2,600 unread messages in my YouTube folder and something like 1,800 in my Rage Select folder. I'll go in every so often and read them, but the really nice thing about having your viewership drop dramatically is that it's like on the website, it's just the same 40 people that are all cool and I've known for years and I've met most of them in person.
Yeah.
And on YouTube, I don't care because it's a cesspool wasteland full of garbage people and I'm not going to waste my time like trying to manage all those comments. Or it's actually, it's not even really as bad as it used to be because...
Yeah, I feel like the few times I've gone and seen stuff, like they've seemed okay. Now, granted, that's YouTube doing filtering by top comments and stuff, but
it's not as bad as it used to be. To be honest, there was a certain level of, shall we say, sassiness that originated from the audience of Spill.com and fans of Jason Murphy specifically that came over.
Yeah.
There was also a large group of people who just didn't like me specifically.
Oh.
In fact, 2 weeks ago I was sick. Put up the first video I've put up in 2 years that didn't have me on it, and one of the YouTube commenters who, because I can see, has never had anything good to say was just like, yeah, keep these two. Don't ever have Jeff come back on the website. And I was like, hey man, you want to pay me and then just have my friends record? Not okay. I'll take a vacation, whatever. But
yeah, that's tough. I know with some of the podcast stuff, we have a really active, chatting community. So it's very it's similar in that it's more real time commenting, but it's still in some levels commenting. And I think by being so real time, it leaves people kind of accountable for what they say, and because it's happening in front of everybody. But I think similarly we get people who, I don't think we get people who are like nasty or abusive, because I think over time that's a community that kind of galvanizes itself into their own social norms. I do think in general, sometimes it can be spicy is a good word for it. Like overly familiar, right? So like there's been this thing on Night Attack lately of like if you give us $1 on Patreon, that means Bryce gets a nickel. So give Bryce a nickel over at the Patreon, and it's a fun, cute thing. And I probably have about $50 worth of nickels in that backpack right now that I'm going to try to take to a bank.
Coinstar.
But Coinstar will take a cut.
It's free nickels, man.
But someone was telling me banks will just do it for free.
Yeah, they will, but then you have to go to a bank.
There's a bank on my way home.
Okay.
So maybe I'll try that.
I haven't been to a bank in like 12, 14 years.
What?
My bank doesn't operate in the state. So the only time, so if I need to use bank services, I have to go to a 7-Eleven and use an ATM.
Yeah.
But it means that sometimes people get overly familiar. Like the thing with Night Attack is that the guys are super familiar and it's all friendly and it's all poking fun. But I think sometimes that membrane gets crossed on the other side, and like the nickels thing is very cute, but it also means that like people just wanted to give me nickels, and it's like that's cute, and I'm sure you're having fun with it. Thank you for this very small amount of money.
I'll take your nickels.
Yeah.
I think it was funny because for years on Spill, Jason and I had the relationship where I was a straight man and he would make fun of me.
Yeah.
And I feel like the people that were in the comment section were like, "Ooh, I want to be like Jason and make fun of Jeff." And it's like, yeah, but me and Jason are friends. I don't know you.
Yeah. I that is a thing that happens with the Night Attack stuff too, of just like there's a line, right, of like just being mimetic and just sharing, having a meme, whatever, and then it's just like just calling someone fat over and over again because Justin calls Brian fat or Brian calls himself fat, whatever.
Right.
And it's like that is predicated on like there being a relationship, a very specific personal relationship, and sometimes that doesn't. It's just friction. Sometimes that just makes friction. And I don't know. I try not. I try on a personal level to not. I think about this when it comes to like the comment stuff and even just behavior on set or whatever. Like trying to not be mean when joking around and stuff, because I think sometimes that stuff multiplies.
It does, yeah.
And I know I'm certainly I'm sure I'm no saint about it either, but it's something that I just try to be trying to be
Saint Bryce.
Stop. I'm trying to be conscious about it because I at least for my own self want to know that I'm not picking on anybody, because that's a tough thing. Whether it's on a live stream or when we're in production mode and we can't really stop and have like an emotional sit down or whatever.
Yeah, I've definitely tried to have a little bit of thought when I leave a comment on somebody else's video or a Reddit post in a subreddit that is not our business.
Yeah.
Where it's like sometimes it's really easy to be like, audio is bad in this. This is a bad video.
Yeah.
Because that's just kind of your gut reaction when you watch it, but I think making things changes your perspective on that stuff, and you go, nobody benefits from you saying that. So like go into it with a little bit of thought and at least try to do a little bit of due diligence in problem solving for them a little bit and go, hey, I noticed this was off maybe you could try this, or
Yeah.
or at least just having a calm, a little bit of a reserved way of presenting that information.
Yeah. I think it as people who do create stuff like this, it is easier to empathize with that. But I think even still, I think there's something low grade, or maybe it's just me, where it's like, that's not the gut instinct, because I think sometimes I still have that thing.
Oh
of
no, yeah, not at all. Right.
Yeah, of like, I still need to check myself.
The blood boils for a bit.
A little bit, right? And because what upsets me is like, hey, I'm just a person, and I read the comments and stuff, and it may seem like no one's reading it because no one's giving reactions to bad energy or whatever, but it's still very easy to forget that most things are things that get seen but don't get responded to, and are read by one person who can take things personally. So try to be better, everybody. Hey, love each other.
Yeah, you jerks.
Yeah.
Yeah, my favorite one was we had the most notorious guy that followed us and was the biggest troll on our entire website. And he would nitpick every single sentence that I said for like 3 or 4 years. And I finally just said, hey, I need you to stop. And he was like, well, listen, just because I'm a fan doesn't mean that I'm just going to say everything that you do is fantastic and wonderful and shower you with praises. I said, I don't need you to do that. I just need you to stop microanalyzing every single thing that I say every single day of my life. And it was interesting to me that his thought was that the opposite of that was
unending praise.
That it was just that all I wanted was for people to stroke my ego. And I was like, I don't want people to stroke my ego. I just want people to stop
grilling me,
calling me an idiot all the live day.
Yeah. It's tough. It's tough everywhere. It's just a bad time, man.
That should really be like the subtitle for this.
It's tough.
This podcast.
Group hug.
The bizarre briefing. It's
Group hug.
tough.
Tough, man.
April Fool.
But
it's tough.
I think the other thing that makes it tough is, there I go again. Is that we make ourselves so available, and so by having a Twitter account, by having a public Twitter account, that means anyone can just choose to be on my phone. They can have a thought and decide, I'm going to take up this amount of screen real estate on Bryce's phone.
St. Bryce's.
For whatever the thing is. And maybe it's to say something great, or maybe it's to send a link, or maybe it's to say, to tag me in something or whatever. Like whatever it is, whether it's benign or not, you are. I think the end goal for a lot of these sites is for at least for some people, is to be more popular and have more engagement. And the direct thing that you give up is that people get to just present themselves in front of you at their leisure.
At their leisure.
And the things that you do to stop that are either decide X group of people is not, I only get mentions from verified accounts now. I only care about those mentions, or I don't care about mentions at all, or I turn off. You have to.
Sounds real nice.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
sounds good.
It's nice, but
no, I got to tell you, I stopped reading Facebook and stopped reading the comments on my own website. It was really liberating. I have a lot less stress, a lot less walking around going, that son of a bitch.
Yeah, I just stopped reading. I don't know what this says.
But there's a community element to it. Like I run the Night Attack page, so I kind of need to see and hope people mention that account, and so that people know more about the show and share stuff. And when they post, when Jackie Hearn makes little ad dragon finger puppets, I want to know about that. I want to make sure I see that so I can share it around. And it's
Tough.
it's a specific trade-off, and I think for a lot of people who aren't like trying to be a creative or trying to be a brand online, it's literally not an issue because all of that stuff is the good stuff that they want, is interactions with people, and that's their Facebook comments are all just the Facebook stuff that they want to see and talk to and stuff, generally. But there becomes this other huge circle in this Venn diagram when there's also brands and shows that you're trying to create an audience for and a community for. There we go.
So yeah, I made a spreadsheet and it's pretty good.
Yeah. We're getting really heady today. I'm sorry, the energy's weird today, but we're getting
the piano music
places.
should come in toward the end of all that. And then just cuts off and he's like, yes, I made a spreadsheet.
Anything else you guys want to talk about before we get into plugs? A little potpourri.
I got my pen.
Potpourri.
Oh, what did you? Okay,
My fountain pen.
yeah, I saw you posted on the Discord a photo of it. Do you have it with you?
It's a pen
He
that's
says he
also a
does.
water fountain. Because we can put
That's
that in
right,
the
a
store.
water fountain pen.
All right.
So, what brand did you get?
I
Can you
got
tell us that?
the Faber-Castell Loom.
Okay,
Um,
very nice.
I have a
Big pen. Oh, nice.
medium nib.
Medium. All right. Oh, we've got a photo here that might be a little easier to see.
Yeah,
Oh, look at that.
Good. This is a high resolution photo.
it is.
Well, it looks nice. It looks ergonomic.
Yeah, it's nice. It's got a metal body.
Oh, that's metal.
Feels
nice.
good. And it's got it accepts cartridges, which are easy, and I've got a converter so I can pull ink out of vials, such as the one just above that.
Oh wait, so would it do both? Or like the cartridges
Oh, it has a
refillable?
little lever. It'll
S-
suck up the ink.
Close. So there are cartridges which are just little plastic things that you just poke in,
Mhm.
and there's a little pin in there, and it punctures, and then it
and-
leaks out into the pen. So that's one way to do it. And
Okay.
you could just buy those little cartridges. But then there's another one that's kind of the same shape, and it has a twist knob at the top, and it's got like a plunger sort of thing. So it's
So
like a
that's the
syringe.
sections. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and so you dip it into the vial of ink, twist it, and it
And-
sucks it up into it
Yeah.
through the nib,
Okay.
and then you just write it
Right.
that way. So I got a vial of black ink because it's really basic and practical,
Mhm.
and then I've got like 8 samples, just random samples
Of different inks.
of different inks.
Oh, nice.
And so I think one of them is like one of the wild glittery ones.
Ooh.
Uh,
you have to use that last because you're gonna get glitter in that vial. or
Yeah.
in the chamber.
I mean, you have to flush it every time you change inks. So I'll have to
Okay.
do that anyway. But the glittery ones can be problematic for certain pens. But yeah, there are some wild pens. There are like there are some wild pens, but there are some wild inks as well. There are some that you write in one color, but if you have enough ink on the page, it'll sheen a different color. So it'll be like a blue ink,
red.
and then it'll have a red sheen on it, which is kind of wild.
Wow.
They're like scented inks for some reason.
Okay. Yeah, because ink has a very specific smell if it's not fragranced.
Yeah,
Like-
and
like-
Did you get a blotter?
no,
A blotter.
Missed out on a blotter. Like you write with an ink pen, and then you blot it so that you can
Oh,
hand
for
it
like.
out,
Oh.
like so that the ink is now in the paper and won't smudge.
That's
huh.
a thing that's like a
Yeah,
like a
the-
half circle.
yeah.
You do it like that. Yeah.
The ye old ink blotter.
I'm gonna pull up an image.
That's not it.
Whoa, that's
no,
water
Somebody's doing
acid.
some DNT. Yeah.
all right.
Woo!
Well, look at this Bart. Okay, we can't look at this Bart.
There we go. First,
Oh, okay.
yeah.
Who does acid anymore?
Bart Simpson, apparently.
Yeah, it's just Bart.
Get in touch with me.
Yeah, and then they're you get into it's a real deep hole to fall into. There's like you get real specific about paper.
Yeah.
And then sometimes people get into like waxes and wax seals and stuff like that.
Then it's calligraphy.
Oh man!
See the wax, like
Brandt,
And
make
then it's
your
LSD. It goes just like that.
Make your own seal. Make it.
I thought about it.
you could. That would be pretty easy.
Fun. No, they've got some waxes that you could put into like a hot glue gun. Because otherwise you have to hold a lighter up to it and let it
You have to
drip.
heat
Oh,
up.
a candle.
Yep.
Old school.
Yeah, I mean a candle would work too. So what's the connector? Because you mentioned this the other day when we were at the shoot. How do you get from fountain pens to wax seals? Is it just
It's
handmade element of it?
It's all an element of the community because a lot of people who are doing like fountain pen stuff are like writing letters and they like to seal up the letters and get fancy with it.
Signet ring. Yeah.
Yep.
It's a good. It's a good.
It's my
like
favorite Metal Gear Solid character, Signet Ring.
Signet ring.
You want to really go off the deep end. You
His monkey was real wild.
And then you hit it in the wax seal with your signet ring. Then you know it's never
it is.
apart from you, right? So
Yeah, that's cool.
You can be sure.
But yeah, I got into all this because I just wanted a new notebook. I was running out of space on my notebook, and I was like, well, I want a new notebook. But I've been doing this thing, especially the past year, where I've been trying to like upgrade things in my life and just kind of take better care of myself.
20 upgrade teen.
It all started with floss. Like a handful of years ago, I was like, man, I hate floss. I just got the floss that I had for years.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is miserable. And
dental
then
tape.
yeah, and I was just at the store and I was like, well, why don't I try different flosses? And I did, and it was an immediate like night and day difference. It was like a 50-cent upgrade, and it was just totally different. And I was like, well, if I could have this vast of an improvement over such a small thing as floss, what other things could I improve upon?
I see.
So like the last year I've been going down like, oh, what are belts, right? Because I've had the same belt since middle school.
Sure.
And
a good belt will last you a long time.
Yeah, and it wasn't even a good belt. It was like all ripped up and like not really leather, like some synthetic leather thing. So I was like, oh, what are belts? And also it didn't fit me super great. It worked well enough to get by. Yeah. And so I found ratchet belts, and I was like, oh, they're like different mechanisms for belts. So I have that kind of belt now, and it's really great. And it's weird because you cut off the end so that way it's cut exactly to your size. It's a whole thing. And so I've been trying to do that with every time I need to get a new thing. I think about, is there like a deeper level to this, and are there better ways to approach this? So like my next thing is shoes. I want like a nice pair of shoes.
Okay.
But I was looking at notebooks, and I started thinking like, yeah, I could just go get like a $3 or $5 notebook at Walmart or Target or something, and I was just like, but there have to be different kinds of notebooks out there. There have to be like nice notebooks out there.
So I know you were asking about a planner the other day.
Yeah.
Is that like the same vector that you're looking at, or?
So that'll be the next step in this. So with notebooks,
is that a moleskin you got there, David?
No, this is actually a Lichtern.
Okay. Yeah.
You know about that?
Mm-hmm.
The 1917 classic blue notebook. Yeah.
That's another one of
this would go really
the big
good
brands.
With the fountain pen, I think.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So
But you can't have it.
I've got a Rhodia, which is kind of one of the big competitors with the Lichtern, and moleskin is in that conversation as well for sure. But yeah, I started thinking about like, you know what I love? I love graph paper. I haven't used graph paper in years and years, but I love graph paper because it's really interesting to me. And so I started thinking about like, well, do they make graph paper notebooks? They have to. And so they do. And then they also have dot grid, which is very nice, which my Rhodia is as well.
Is it dot grid? Okay.
Yep.
It's a notebook showdown over here.
Well, we got to the important stuff. Mayonnaise.
I'm
and
going to leave
notebooks.
my moleskin in my backpack because they're clearly outclassed, apparently.
I've got a
Well, no,
moleskin as well.
I like moleskin. I enjoy my moleskin.
Yep.
What's this?
What's that?
Yeah.
Oh, it's a red moleskin.
We
Okay.
might have the same notebook.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had a yellow Pac-Man moleskin,
Okay.
and so it was yellow, but on the front,
Jeff is like, I don't know, paper.
Yeah.
Post that in an index card. This works.
Paper.
it had a
I think it's got a $3,000 fountain pen.
It had the first stage of Pac-Man on the front of it, but in like gloss. So you'd have to like see it in light to see it.
Oh, okay.
And it came with like little Pac-Man stickers, and
That's
that was
fun.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then I found Dot Grid, and I was like, oh, Dot Grid is like the best of all worlds. They also sell blank notebooks, which is for crazy people.
I love blank. I
some
prefer
blank stuff, yeah.
blank. Is the one that I have blank?
How many notebooks are you carrying?
No,
why do you need all of them?
So I do have line.
I do have
am
a story
using
for
line
you.
right now. I'm using line because I couldn't get.
The same thing. I have a lined one, but I usually get the blank one.
Yeah,
too,
I couldn't get blank on Prime Now when I wanted it.
I feel like I could understand
know
blank
what?
for that size. For like the small one, I feel like I understand blank.
What I love about blank though is that I get to format and just be the size. I have a very sloppy handwriting. I'm a very like big sloppy handwriter, and so I'm not stuck with an line. Jeff is gonna have a stroke right now. Is this?
No, it's just look.
We've put way more thought.
No. The amount of effort and time that you guys have had in this conversation talking about notebooks. This man has pulled out 4 notebooks. All right,
He's got another one.
He's got 4 different notebooks. You got these pens from around the world. You got
Sure.
these different ones. I have tried to talk to every single one of you about cooking for like 30 minutes. And like you're talking about upgrading your life, and I got this Instant Pot two months ago, and I was trying to be like,
I
oh,
love
this thing
cooking.
is great.
I don't have space for an Instant Pot. That's the thing is I don't have I don't have counter space in my apartment for more appliances.
Yeah.
But an Instant Pot sounds great.
Okay. All right. You're gonna talk about that later. All right.
Yeah.
It's fine.
There's also a Japanese calendar that I carry around.
Oh, nice.
Which one is that?
Is that the Hobonichi Taicho?
Hobonichi.
Hobonichi
Does it look like this
Taiko.
with the thing on the back?
Techo.
Techo.
Zoom it in.
We definitely can't do that. Hold on.
Oh, we can?
So the Techo is one of the notebooks I'm looking at, or one of the planners I'm looking at.
Yeah.
Will it focus?
No, it won't focus.
Okay, well,
So I don't know why we're
so
doing
just
this
defocus your eyes.
Okay,
It'll
yeah.
automatically focus the notebook.
It's great.
But
Good stuff.
Well, should I?
oh, this is great. It screwed up like all the rest of my presets too. This is fun.
Awesome.
Oh, excellent.
So anyway,
It's all written in Japanese, so I don't know what it is.
yeah, when it comes to planners, I find that, so for one, there are 2 cycles of planners. There's a January start and there's an April start. And April start is great for me because I'm just getting into planners and it's almost April.
Right.
But most manufacturers only use January start, and usually like they sell out right before the year starts. So if I'm looking for a 2018 planner, everywhere is sold out. Like all of the moleskins are sold out. All of the Rhodias are sold out for the most part. They have pocket size, which are like that big.
Okay.
Yeah,
so
And it's like, what am I going to do with that?
Put it in my pocket?
Yeah.
I mean,
What's that about?
you would keep it on you. So like, what are you looking for a portable experience? Are you looking for an at-home experience with your notebook?
I can feel the energy in Jeff right now. It's very potent.
It's fine. It's fine. It's fine.
I'm looking for mostly an at-home thing, but I wouldn't mind if I carried it on me. So I looked at the Traveler's notebook thing. Field Notes has a thing as well. But I find that I generally kind of resonate mostly with like the Japanese planners. I think they're just like really structured and interesting in a cool way. So there's the Hobonichi Techo, and then there's also the Jiben something.
You just
I don't
make up
know.
words now.
Yeah, there's another one that's kind of like a direct competitor with it.
Okay.
But that one's like kind of tough to get into the States a little bit.
I think this one's Muji. M-U-J-I.
Okay.
What does
For what it's
tough
worth.
to get into the States mean? Do you have to like hire a coyote?
Yeah.
And, like,
You had to get it through the Yakuza.
Okay.
So
real tough notebook market in Japan.
yeah, real black and white market.
What are you in for? Smuggling notebooks.
And so yeah, I'm looking around for it. I just want to be able to. I've been looking for like some kind of calendar solution for so long, and Google Calendar is fine, but
Okay.
it's like if I really wanted to make Google Calendar work for me, I would have a separate monitor that just always had the calendar open, and that might work for me because then I could easily reference it. and that's just what that could be. But it's always kind of a pain, and I've always got like all of Brian's events spread throughout my calendar, and it's a whole thing.
I use 2 separate calendar apps on my phone just so that his events are in one place and are separate from my stuff.
But also I find like with a phone app, like with a mobile app, I'm just not going to go into it all the time. I've got a whiteboard that I kind of use, and I sort of structure it so that way it's in quadrants. So I've got stuff that I want to do today. I've got stuff that I want to do very soon, but not today. Stuff that I want to do eventually. And then I've got like
stuff I never want to do.
I've got a broader overview of just like events.
I see. Yeah.
I like that category.
and it's fine because it's on the refrigerator, so every time I walk into the kitchen or the bathroom or whatever, like I always see it.
Yeah.
Like open heart surgery. No.
I
Stay away from that one.
I just got this like little light up whiteboard decoration thing. Mostly because I moved my computer around, and so I needed to decorate a little space on my wall. And so it's like a whiteboard that I can draw on, but like having that whiteboard just always next to my desk has actually helped a lot. There have been multiple times where just like, okay, I just need to write down a list of like things to do or whatever.
The only problem I have with my whiteboard is I feel like that's where a lot of times things go to die. Like ideas, I write down ideas and I'm like, yeah, I should totally get to this. Like repair my A7S. That's been on my whiteboard for 4 months. And it's like, I want something a little bit more granular than just that whiteboard.
I think the nice thing about this one that I just put up is that because it's on camera where I do the streaming stuff, it kind of means I can't keep stuff on there because I like to write and draw a little stuff on there for the streams. And so if I put something on there, it's kind of got to go away at some point.
Right.
Yeah. So I hopefully we hear an update on the notebook situation next month.
Yeah. Codes from Home says Michael's carries rodeo, which sounds nicer than shipping it in.
Yeah, there's a Michael's up on Brody.
Yeah. So maybe I'll check that out.
Jeff, have you cooked anything lately with the hot pot or the instant pot? What do you been making?
I found a stew recipe that's really good.
Yeah.
I made some Korean like brisket roast, like with a cayenne pepper rub on it.
Wow.
I mean all kinds of stuff. I love cooking. I just don't have time to do it at this point. Had enough nice weather to grill some steaks last weekend. I don't know.
Did you use some of the modern rogue steak cooking techniques?
No. I just went to Google and searched for I feel, you know what, whenever I get around this conversation with things like notebooks or shoes or your backpacks or things like that, I feel like everybody is just upgrading their life, and I'm just like, I learned I can make fried eggs every time now, and that's the most. I've had this shirt for 4 years. It's one of 5 different gray T-shirts that I've had for 4 years, and I don't know.
I cannot cook a single thing. So
being able to cook is like a real strong skill.
Take that back. I can make a mean Pop-Tart.
I got, if you want,
you can heat up
breakfast, I ordered the Vidalia Fast Chop or something. It's basically
one of those slap choppers.
It's just this thing, and you put it in there, and you close down this thing, and it dices. You have to,
like the bullet,
sort of, But I got my breakfast game
unlock.
Bacon in the oven with potatoes to make like country potatoes. And you scramble your eggs, get your tortillas in there. Nice. Breakfast tacos, ready to go. And the only problem is that Drunk Jeff knows how to do it now. And so now Drunk Jeff will make like 5 breakfast tacos.
And then leave stuff out. And
No. I always clean up, but that's how I cut the tip of my thumb off. Was I was making a stew on the mandolin, and I was just while I was doing it, I was like, I'm going to cut the top of my thumb off, and then there it went.
Did it? No.
Yep.
So it was a conscious decision.
And then I threw the
thing that it comes with, the little handle.
Well, it was a carrot that I was doing it with, so you can't really do that. Yeah. But I then threw my mandolin away because out of the 6 times I've used it, I've cut myself 4. So.
Oh, for sure. If any of my appliances, I cut myself like real bad, enough where I say I cut part of myself off, I would just
Well, it's also
even if I buy the exact same one, like that one is cursed.
It's not like gruesome or anything. I didn't. The only description is that I cut the tip of my finger off. It was like a centimeter worth of finger. It wasn't like.
But it's still It
just sucked that was the week.
It's a centimeter too much in my book.
Yeah.
Where I couldn't talk because I was coughing, and then I injured my right thumb, and I was like, this is like the worst combination of problems for somebody who plays video games to make half of their income.
Yeah.
So.
Oh my gosh.
But yeah, I think it's easy to overlook the cooking thing because like the product that you're making that is upgrading your life, you are consuming and disposing of. So like you don't have like a really good like visual metric for yes, this has appreciably improved my day-to-day life.
Because it's also experience-based, right? Like you get better over time.
But I think you don't have to. You can control the mayo, where the mayo goes.
That's
and where it
definitely
doesn't go.
true.
That's very true. We shot very quick. We shot a Blue Apron ad for Modern Rogue the other night, and those guys don't know how to cook.
Brian and Jason.
They were salting their meal with the salt gun that they use to shoot flies,
which they were doing for about 20 minutes before we started filming. Also, or even just like the one thing that always get me, because I always see Brian do this, is he'll take a pan and put it on the heat, and we'll just immediately put his meat or food in there. Before the pan has heated. Like you got to let the pan and the oil heat up consistently all the way through. You got to give it some time to heat up.
Can I ask?
Because it's got to sizzle if the meat doesn't sizzle when you put it on, you got to take it off because it ain't ready yet.
Well, yeah, you got to get the what they call the Maillard effect, where where it heats up enough to liquefy the fat or whatever.
Crisp it up. And get, right, like because otherwise you're not.
You're getting garbage.
You're not browning you're not cooking the outside and getting that nice crust.
Yep. Have you seen that Blue Apron ad that they show all the time on YouTube? That's like every night in America.
I have
people
YouTube
are.
Red, so I don't see it.
Oh, okay. Do you guys know this ad? I have a real problem with this ad because it's just basically a montage of people cooking, and it's like, oh, well, sometimes everybody's cooking, but you could cook better. Blue Apron, we send you blah blah blah. And one of the people in this montage that's cooking is like an old man. At the very end, the only dialogue in the whole commercial is that he sits down at the very end with a person who is obviously his son, and his son is like, "Mom would be proud." And I'm like, "Are you throwing a dead bomb at me, Blue Apron ad?" Because like,
well, it's implied, right? Because maybe the mom's just out that night, but who knows? Nobody really knows.
Yeah,
those bastards.
Anyway, Blue Apron coming to Modern Rogue.
Yeah.
All right, let's do plugs. We'll go in reverse order. Jeff.
RageSelect.com. That's it.
There you go. David.
Yeah, I did have those done, and that's why I'm wearing the hat. Is I had a series of plugs.
It's funny every month. This is my favorite part.
They'll grow in. It'll be fine. Next time you won't even notice any difference. I don't know if you just Google David Rowan, whatever first thing comes up, just go with that.
Yeah,
probably Twitter,
ROWYN.
RWYN.
Brandt.
You spell my name differently.
You don't spell it ROWYN?
Not anymore.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought it was too confusing.
I need to update my dossier.
Yeah. Tax return is still written that way though.
Ooh.
You can find me on Twitter at Gatowag. That's GATOWAG. You can find me on Instagram, same name.
Yeah.
You can find me on Twitch sometimes, not much lately, but sometimes same thing. You can find me speaking through the Modern Rogue voice on the Modern Rogue Show Instagram or Modern Rogue Show Twitter. And those are kind of the big ones.
Awesome. You can find me at Brycas, BRYCAS, on Twitter and Twitch. I also stream here on twitch.tv/nightattack when we do the podcasts and the rewinds on the weekends and all sorts of random stuff like this show, which gets broadcasted live on Night Attack on Twitch here. This show is also called The Bizarre Briefing. You can find more about it at bizarrebriefing.com. You can find old episodes, get the RSS link, show notes, time codes, all sorts of good stuff. If you like to watch the video for this, we keep it at youtube.com/scamstuff, all one word. We'd like to do these at the end of the month, about the month before it, so we'll probably have another one in about a month.
More or less.
Or less. or less. But until then, have a good month, everybody.
Adios.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.
Diamond Club hopes you have enjoyed this program.